Welcome back, third grade musicians. Thank you for using Mr. Camacho's music lessons. I'm Mr. Camacho. So today, students, before we get started, I want to ask you something to get your mind thinking about certain things to help you set up the music we're going to do today. So, remember that autumn and fall are a time for harvest. What kind of foods do you know that grow on trees or vines? Ooh, very good. Somebody said apples. Apples grow on a tree, and they're delicious to eat. What other things grow on trees or vines? Oranges. Oranges grow on trees, and especially great if you have an orange tree in your backyard. Free oranges all the time. Ooh, I heard somebody say strawberry. A strawberry grows on a vine. That's really good, yeah. And what else grows on a vine? Grapes. Yeah, grapes grow on a vine. So, many different foods grow on different trees or vines and stuff. What about during October, November, during the harvest season or autumn? What is a food that we only eat during those months that grows on a vine? Ooh, somebody said pumpkins. That's exactly right. Pumpkins we only eat them during, mostly during autumn time, fall, October, November, September time of year. But they're a very versatile plant. Pumpkins we use them all the time to make soups and pies and breads. And did you know that in the colonial times, they would use pumpkins as pie crust instead of the pie filling? And they even thought it was a cure for freckles and snake bites. So in colonial times, they used it a lot. But we still use it a lot today too. Now, today's lesson is going to focus on pumpkins, a song about being in the pumpkin patch, and a song about Halloween. And we're going to look at the different things that the songs talk about. Okay? So let's dive in. Let's learn the first song, In the Pumpkin Patch. So while this song, Pumpkin Patch, is playing, please use your finger and read along. Follow the words as they're saying, okay? And you can even follow the notes above, but try to follow along while they're singing it. If you want to, sing along. If not, if you can't sing along, just follow the words, okay? And try to read them as the people sing them, all right? Here, let's try it. So go ahead. Read the words while the music is playing. Wasn't that a great song? I really enjoyed it too. So we're going to look at some of the rhythms and try to identify some of the rhythms that happened in this song. So before we do that, let's just review some of what rhythms are. So remember this thing right here? This is called a quarter note. One clap, top, right? It's a short note. It has a little black head, colored in note head, and then there's a stem that goes up or down. Doesn't matter. As long as it looks like that, up or down, it's still a quarter note. Okay? Other notes might look like this. This looks just like a quarter note, but you see how the head is not filled in? That is called a half note. A half note is a ta, a longer note. Okay? Quarter note, ta. Half note, ta. A long note, okay? And then next we have what's called eighth notes. So eighth notes look like quarter notes too, but there's a little stem that goes across the two of them, connecting them both. So instead of just one note, it's two notes. It can be one note where it has a little flag on the top, but you don't see that in this song really. The other one is called a quarter rest. Quarter rest looks like a little squiggly line. It means for one beat of silence. So you go, right? You don't make any noise. Okay, so now that we reviewed the rhythms, let's look at some of the lines and try to identify the rhythms in the music. All right, so we're going to look at some lines from this from our In the Pumpkin Patch song, okay? And each time I'm going to ask you a question to try to identify the rhythms on the that you see, okay? So first, there's three rhythms. There's this one, and this one. Of those three rhythms, which one is quarter notes only? Very good. The quarter note, remember, quarter note is just a note head colored in with a stem. That's the top one. Very good. Yeah, all quarter notes, right? Ta, 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 ta. Very easy rhythm to clap and to say. Okay, next. Now we have three different rhythms here. Which one of these rhythms has a half notes? Remember, the half note is the one with it looks like a quarter note, but instead of colored in the head, the head is not colored in. It looks white. So which one of these has half notes? Very good. The middle one. Do you see how it has the notes? They're circles with the stem coming out of it, and the circles are not colored in. Those are the ones with the half notes. Very good. Very good so far. Okay, one more. Which one of these three lines has the most eighth notes? So remember the eighth notes, they look like quarter notes, but they have a little bar beaming two of them together. So they are like two little eighth notes like this. So which one has the most? Very good. The bottom one has the most eighth notes. Very good. I think you're doing a really good job at recognizing rhythms. So the more we practice with them, the easier it'll be to say them out loud too. All right, very good. Now, let's look at that next song. All right, students, our next song is called Halloween is a Very Unusual Night. This is a very fun song because there's a lot of fun things that happen in it. So we're going to listen to it first. While you're listening, try to listen to all the unusual things. If you need to write them down as well. Because afterwards I'm going to ask you, what are all the unusual things you heard in the song? Okay, let's listen.
There's only one night like this all year, only one night when spirits appear, an evening meant to be spent outside. Yes, it's Halloween, and you cannot hide when the ghosts come out, and the goblins creep, and the skeletons rattle. How could anybody sleep? And the monsters march, while the witches take flight. Yes, Halloween is a very unusual night. Drop your fears and off you go. Join the traveling costume show. Grab your sack and attack the street, but you better start to trick or treat when the ghosts come out and the goblins creep and the skeletons rattle. How could anybody sleep? And the monsters march, while the witches take flight. Yes, Halloween is a very unusual night. Yes, Halloween is a very unusual night.
Wow, isn't that a spooky, scary song? I think so too. Okay, so when you were listening, what were some of the unusual things you might have heard? Ooh, somebody said, the ghosts come out. That would be unusual and scary. What else? Goblins creep. Definitely very scary and unusual if you saw goblins creeping around, especially at night. Skeletons rattle. Yeah, I think if you saw some skeletons rattling their bones together, it would be pretty scary. Ooh, if you were seeing monsters march, that'd be pretty unusual. I don't think I've ever seen monsters marching down the street. Ooh, witches taking flight. That's true. If you were to see someone on a broom take flight, that'd be very unusual. Oh, and we can't forget about the costumes. Yes, there's lots of unusual costumes that happen on Halloween. Very good. Okay, I'm glad that you noticed all those things. We're going to listen to the song one more time, and this time I just want you to clap the rhythm that you hear when you hear them singing those unusual things, right? So, when the ghosts come out, boo! When the goblins creep, right? I want you to clap that rhythm that they sing, okay? And it keeps going. And the skeletons rattle, right? So every one of those rhythms, clap along, all right? And if you can, say the words too. All right, students? So listen, clap the rhythms, and say the words if you can. All right, thanks for coming, students. I can't wait to see you again next week. Bye.
There's only one night like this all year, only one night when spirits appear, an evening meant to be spent outside. Yes, it's Halloween, and you cannot hide when the ghosts come out, and the goblins creep,
and the skeletons rattle. How could anybody sleep? And the monsters march, while the witches take flight. Yes, Halloween is a very unusual night.
Drop your fears and off you go. Join the traveling costume show. Grab your sack and attack the street, but you better start to trick or treat
when the ghosts come out, and the goblins creep, and the skeletons rattle. How could anybody sleep? And the monsters march, while the witches take flight. Yes, Halloween is a very unusual night. Yes, Halloween is a very unusual night.